friends, I have this large canvas I want to work on today. Let's see here. This may not be... Okay, anyway, so I'm just trying to... trying to get it where you guys can see. It's at an angle. There's going to be shadows, but this is the best I could do for now. So I'm going to take the plastic off. Now, I know I've been saying that I wanted to do larger canvases with you guys. I don't know if this is going to work. For now, this might be a temporary solution. But again, with having fun with these canvases, and I know the lighting is really poor. I'm going to see if I can grab some more from the hall here. That might not help. I will find my lamp soon enough. So there is the shadow from the camera, but I am still going to use it. Now, you can get foam to put behind it, but I have it up now at an angle. See, this is what I have here. I have my clothespins up on an angle so then you guys can see, but I wanted to do a larger piece. You guys will recall the last piece I done. So I'm finally getting out of the smaller size here because I want some big pieces, and I thought, well, I can have a bazillion of these little ones. It's just not going to look right on my walls. So what do? I'm going to do my best on filming with this here. And I know the quality is not going to be the best, but we're going to do the best we can with it. And I hope you guys can be forgiving on if the quality is not as good as I hope for it to be. I'm going to leave my oil pastels up here. I'm going to do a piece with my oil pastels, and we're going to work on that. I am going to use red. I'm going to have red. So here's my red. I have the red in here. Can you see it? Put my palette up here. I'm just using a palette to hold it. Red, I'm going to have my green. Is this green? See, I'm even having trouble seeing the colors. This is terrible. This is really bad lighting when you can't even see the colors. This is a green and this is a blue. This is a blue. I'm going to use black. I am going to use orange, and I'm going to use yellow. And here's another reddy, orangey yellow. So those are the colors I've chosen today. And I have nothing drawn on here yet. And I am just going for it, a large canvas. I am going to do the same thing. I want to play with my oil pastels more, and I've been telling you guys that. And I'm going to do a nice wash over it with acrylic. So here we go. I'm going to start with a red. And just work with it. My dogs are being bratties out there. So that is my main piece here now. I'm doing some circular blacks in the center. And I'm going to stop the video and get those down. I got my dogs in. So I am just, like I said, going in and being very loose with my petals here. I have my orange coming in. Now, like I said, I want to play with my crayons, and it's not usual that we do this on a canvas, but we can. Why not? Play with your pastels and have fun with it I'm standing and I'm coloring this just like this, and you guys, this is the front view of it. So, and just play. Now I'm doing my kind of favorite thing to do, just because it's comfy and I like, where did I put my green? I like my little poppy-ish flowers. It's not going to be perfect. You don't have to make it perfect. In fact, if you make it perfect, I don't know, it's just not going to be the same. Now I'm going to just play. See? Far from perfect. Now I'm going to go in with my yellow. And it's going to spread. You're going to use your finger and you're going to spread some of that orange and yellow together to make a color. But remember, if you're going to do dark colors, you want to kind of wipe with a baby wipe, probably your finger. You don't want to make it like a mud color. You want it to blend nice. And this is just a different way of playing. You could paint, yes. I'm not saying, but you know, just something else you could do with your oil pastels. So I'm just going to pull some of the color out. So let's say the sun is going to kind of come in from over here a bit. I'm going to add a little bit of the yellow coming in from this end here. Just because I can. Just because I can. So there it is. I'm going to throw in some orange. Is this orange? It could be not. It wasn't. And then you can blend some of that orange and the yellow. And you'll get some of that wax coming up. Especially if you have like a cheaper brand of pastel like I'm using. But that's okay, you can work with it. Just don't over rub. And you can kind of do a nice light brush over it with your paper towel or tissue just to get some of the pieces off. And the acrylic paint, this will act like as a resist with the acrylic paint, so it's going to look really interesting. It's going to have an interesting effect on it. So having like a red, I think it's red. I think it's red. Kind of having more of a red. And going with it more or less here and taking a couple of fingers and just blending it in. And this is fun, just play. This is fun. So, and we can take the black and do a little bit of an outline. You don't want to go over too much with the black. You want to make sure you did your, whatever you want to rub in. If you want to rub in a bit of the outline or whatever before you do that. So now you have a nice piece. And if you do a little bit of the green, I'm going to use a different finger, and the black, it makes a darker green. So now I'm going to go with my green because I'm not sure. I'm going to peel it away here. I'm not sure like where my dark is or if this is just the darkest green I have. So you can do that. So say I'm going to do behind the flower, a little bit of black in there and mix the darker. And I'm going to make sure I don't use red to make it all red. And I'm just going to play with it. Yes, you could paint it, sure, but I don't know. I'm just playing with it in a different way, like I said. I'm going to go underneath with the black. There we go. And now I'm going to put my colors over here. I'm going to grab my paper towel. And I'm just going to grab a little square. And I'm just going to get some of that off. Don't push too hard. You don't want to like streak color everywhere. It will streak. So that's your main piece right there. Now let's see, what do you want to do? We want to probably add some black and green throughout here. And a little black to have some darker pieces. You can add some golden brown or golden yellow kind of, let's see, what is this? This is, you don't want too bright. It won't match your, this is cream. This is cream. This is kind of a, it might be a little bright. Let's check it out. School bus, golden yellow. You don't want, yeah, that's nice. Like some grass color. I just want to pull that up for some nice color. Use all your greens you can find. And then when you do your acrylic paint, you can add a little darker to the bottom or to the top. And let's see, this is a blue, so I'm going to do a little bit of a blue right around the edges. This might be a little dark. It's kind of like, oh, you know, like a giant iCAD, you know, just doing what you do best. Now I might have to clean my fingers. I'm going to throw my fingers in water here. And see, oh, I've got a little bit of red from my finger there, but that's okay. A little orange and red. Didn't quite clean it good enough. But you got the gist of that. Quite different from my last, I have my color choices. This is quite different from my last one with the circles. But now I'm doing the metallics again because I do like the sheen. I'm going to use a red. I have gold to make a little bit of an orangey color. So I'm going to use a bit of a red. I'm going to pour it. I'm just not going to open the lid. I'm just going to pour a little drop or two in here. I'm going to add quite a bit actually because it was thicker than I thought. I'm going to add lots of water. I'm going to have a little gold on one side here as well, and a little bit of a green. I'm going to go, and a little bit of a teal because I want to have the green in the flower and in the grass and stuff. So, and that's what we're going to go for. So I'm going to use my brushes, and I'll show you guys the brushes as I go. So for the big loose red, I'm dipping it into my red right here. So this is my red, and I'm going to pull it down here. I'm going to add lots of water to it. So I'm going to add more red because I don't know, like I don't want to use all, I don't want to have too much water to this. I should have had a pipe cleaner or water pipette thing. And then I'm just going to kind of go, it might not be watery enough. I want really watery because I want it to really resist well. And I'm just going to stay within the drawing, and where the oil pastel is, it should resist really well. And go into the pieces that are white. So that's why I didn't want to get everywhere. And where I think it's too dark, see now it's really blending in nice, I will go and kind of dab it up. So right here I think it's too dark, I will dab it up with my paper napkin. And it gives it a nice watercolor look. This one I actually like the color the way it was. So continuing on that. And adding a little more red. I'm just going with it. And the orange is coming through, and the yellow, I'm going to have to get a closer up picture of it. It is coming through, and there is a little bit of, because it's a cheaper oil pastel, there is a little bit of oil rolling off, but we can get that wiped up quick enough. As long as you don't go over it, over and over and over, you're not going to make too much of a, you know, it's going to look good. So I'm just going around my edges here, and I'm going to probably have a little bit, you want to go in a little bit to make it more realistic, but this is like free art kind of thing. And look at how nice that is. Free, loose, big brush, just the dollar store brush, and just play with it. Just like that. See, isn't that pretty? I'm going to lift it up a bit. I'm hoping you guys can catch that. Nice. And that is really it. It's really easy. So now I'm rinsing off my brush, and I'm going into my green. So my next color here is my green. I'm pulling out green, and I'm going to throw it into this side because I don't know if I'm going to use it all. I need lots of water. Pull my green. This is a really great way to really preserve your paints too, like using a lot of water, right? So I know it sounds crazy painting over the oil pastels. It really works. It's really nice. I'm going to grab a little bit of the teal blue just for the stem to be a little darker and a little bit darker in the end here. So just mixing that up. There's no right or wrong. This is just having fun. It's a little different than my last one with the circles. And you get to play with more than one thing. The oil pastels are very forgiving, and a lot of the color comes up through them. And like I said, if it's too dark for you, then you can just dab it off. So I could dab off whatever I want up here with my napkin, paper towel, and add darkness to where I want to with my watered down paint, or and then you can do less water, whatever. And this is it. And I know this is kind of weird. You usually start with the background. This is quite different. But now I'm going to dry it up, and hoping you guys get this. It would be such a shame if the video didn't work. But anyways, I'm going to come closer so you guys can see now. This is easy. This is not perfection. This is art that is loose and just, you know. And you can see that the oil pastels help you get a nice, beautiful shading in there, and you get a nice watercolor look, and it's just beautiful. And it helps you make no mistakes, because you can't make mistakes. You know, it's just any way is perfect, and it's just beautiful. And yes, there's a couple spots here that got a little bit of white coming through. That's okay. You can't go wrong. So what I'm going to do is I have a little bit of gold, and I'm rinsing my brush off. This guy's probably done. Throw it in here, and add lots of liquid. Want watercolory. So it's the same paint brand, and I'm just gonna do the kiss of gold coming up around. It's a little thicker, but still watered down. You got nice gold coming through anyhow, but you just want to do with a nice big floppy brush a little bit more of a kiss of gold coming through. Make sure you came home from work. So I got a little bit of the gold there. I think I got a little too much. Now you can go back and wet your brush. Go back to your red and kind of put more red over it. And I feel like it was too much gold. See, no problem. No worries. No worries. And you just go over it a bit. And there's going to be layers of color, and that's going to be what really pulls your piece together. And you want more color, more water, lots of water, guys. Lots of water makes lots of neat drying marks and stuff like that. So now I'm going to grab more red with less water and kind of get the edges of it. And just go like this. And just pull the petals a little bit more, make more shape into them, or with them, whatever, for them. There you go. I'm adding more. Look, I barely got any paint in here, and I'm adding more water, and it still pull beautiful color through. Now I'm going around a bit here. It's just, there's no stopping. It's going really beautiful. Just dogs. Ah. There we go, like that. Keep playing with it until you're happy, and that's the main thing. I'm going to add a little red here, just to add a little shadowing. It's going to go a little mud, but not really. And down here. You know, you mix all the colors, you make dark, right? You make black, so it's okay. There we go. It's very, very light just because I want to pull in that color from the petal, and I'm really just stretching what's on there, really. And wetting my brush on my palette and pulling the paint from the painting, really. It's that awesome that you don't want like really sharp edges. You want, you know, really hard edges. You want to pull them in as much as possible to make it very flowy. And I'm going to try to mix, see if I can get a little bit of a green for my center. And I'm just curling around like this. I got the black in there, but I want a little bit of I'm just kind of pulling out just a little bit. I do want a kind of dark center. Start with the green, rinse that off, and I'm going to throw in a little bit of black in there too. So now I'm just going to grab my green, really water it down, and start making some lovely strokes with my brush. Just up. And I'm really pulling my colors down. Really adding lots of water. That you can see. It's making it so light. You're going to see all the yellow, everything that you pulled in, or you can even throw I'm pulling a little red from my leftovers in every once in a while. And just pulling it up. And that is it. There's no wrong. Now it's just so nice and dark and rich. Then you're going to dry this layer and go with something else in the background there. After you're done playing here and get what you want. I do got some splashing. You just grab a napkin or your paper towel. And then you can go in with some black after to paint. And throw up some really nice grass pieces. And don't forget, you don't always want them all same. You're going this way and there's a lot of that round movement. You also want to get a few pieces that are going against the grain as well of what the other ones are. You know, they're not perfect. So you got that one right there going, which is nice. And there, that is that. I'm going to dry this up. Okay, for a little bit more here, I'm just grabbing some spray. This is my teal shimmering spray. Throwing that in there. Grabbing some water and watering it up and just adding a little bit to my bottom. Just darkening it up a bit. I'm sticking with the shimmer and I'm going with that because I really like it, and I'll fix the edges. I did in my video, I gotta fix my edges. But I like it. You see my edges are kind of getting missed a bit because of the way I'm doing it on the table, but I'm going to try to get them. And this is the darkest color, and you could just pull a couple strands of that through. So you want to really do your edges because it's going to show on the wall. Although this one's a really nice light painting, so, and it's neat how you can just kind of pull together your and this was really very little paint, so you can see how your paint can go a long way if you're doing something like this, and you don't have to worry about covering, like, how much paint, you know, you're actually using and that kind of thing. So I'm just using a little bit of the dark to go around, and that's it. So I'm going to dry it up. Okay, I'm finishing up a little bit here. Now I have my shimmering mist, the more shimmers. This particular project, like I said before, is shimmery. You want it to make it as, well, you don't have to make it shimmery. I'm just doing it. This is my goal, shimmery, shimmery, shimmery. So I'm putting water with it. And like I said before, it's really going a long way. I'm just going to add a little bit of a wash of that. I decided I want just a little bit more brighter. And I'm going to add more water. And just go in. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see if I can pull it in more. Pull up my, oops, can't get any paint on the floor. Don't do that. No, that was a close one. Okay. And I'm just pulling in some really bright. I just decided that the background, it doesn't matter. Needs to be a little bit more brighter. I did put an edge on it, but you don't have to. I did want to frame it a little bit. I probably should have done maybe just the black, not the green, but it's okay. There's no wrong, really. I'm just pulling it down into the grass areas a bit. And it's really looking good. It's all going to be beautiful and shimmery. And it's resisting, like I said, all the oils, and they're still popping right through, so they're not covering the oils. And that's another thing too, is that you're having a nice wash over everything. And my periscope's going crazy here. So I'm just going to add, I like the yellow, it's a nice contrast. It's like the sun is really, you get those yellow sun days, right? Where the sun's really golden and the sky's kind of golden, that's what it is. So you don't have to have the blue skies all the time. You can do whatever. You can even have a purple sky. So now I'm actually kind of wishing I didn't do the edge with the green and I just did it with just the black, but that's okay. It does tie in the grass, so it's not making it hideous or anything like that. It's just in your mind, you're like, things I can change for next time. See, this was a quick project for today. I mean, I know it might seem like a long video, but it's really not that long to do a full painting. And it's done. It is very done. So I hope you guys like this. Don't forget to comment below and just tell me what you thought. And if you're going to try, I would love to know. If you guys don't feel comfortable and you don't do videos, you can message me on Facebook, private message me photos or anything like that too. But I bet you people would just love to see it. So, you know, I'm just pulling more yellow through. It's going to look really good with the green. And dropping the paintbrush. And there we are. It is now done. I don't know how much of this you can see with the shadows and the quality because I'm having it on a faster setting, lower. Isn't that pretty? Setting. And I'm going to add a little bit more black in the center, I think, which I should just do quickly before I turn it off here for you guys. Is I'm going to add a little black to the center of my poppy, but I'm going to use my shimmering mist again, and I'm going to use the mist, this one here, the carbon black. So I'm just going to go in my green area and really get that. See that? This is, like I said, the least paint you'll ever use on this project. And you don't want to go crazy. It's solid. You're just letting it resist naturally. And a couple spritz will go here and there. Hey, that's okay. Do you see how it's going? Well, I mean, you probably don't see it. In fact, I might even just add a couple spritz in the bottom like this. You see that? And I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Can you see it? In fact, I love it. And I'm just going to keep going with it. And I got a couple on the flower accidentally. That's okay. It's beautiful. Sometimes you discover the most prettiest things accidentally. More water. Don't forget to sign it. And you're going to have your beautiful masterpiece right here. Well, you guys going to have your own. You do what you like. And it's going to look just perfect. I know it. There you go. I'm just adding a few there just to pull it up. Because I can. So that is done. Dry, sign, complete. And it's got the beautiful watermarks in it too. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So now it's complete. I will stop. Don't forget, guys, craft like a duck. And now I want you to comment below, please, and tell me what you think. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Another tip is when you're heating and drying and you're on the oil pieces like here, you can heat them up and kind of smear them a little bit easier because they're warm and melted. Just a little tip. Now these are just oil pastels, they're not watercolor. And just oil, so it works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get angry at my dogs. No, they're being very barky right now. I'm going to grab another paper towel, and I'm going to save all these. I usually don't use this kind. I usually use another kind. My husband bought these ones, so this is what I'm going with right now. So I'm going to grab my gold. I did use gold, a lot of gold, and I'm throwing it in here, and there's a little bit of reds in here. Grabbing color, grabbing water like crazy. Grab water. Okay, see, I have my water's really getting dirty, but it's okay. It's usable. Grabbing my water, grabbing my gold, and I'm just going to do a really, really watery. Be very careful. Grab my water here. Pour a little bit more. I'm being very, very soupy with it. And then I'm going to make a nice wash of my gold. Yeah, not a blue background or green. Nice gold. And I do have my oil pastels on the end. And I can make that go right through to the bottom edge as well. I can go over it with a little bit of the black. And this is soupy. I want soupy as soupy can be. When it gets too gold, it's too thick. I want nice and soupy so it's like a wash. And it's really not going to affect my greenery as well. So, and you can go in any way with the brush strokes. And you get a nice finished look on your piece. Really crazy. And this is really fun and easy to kind of, it's like a coloring book really, because you're just drawing a little base of your, what you want, be it the circles that I drew, or the more gold, more really clean water, using a lot of mucky, I don't want it to turn green, you know, and then you're just making a base idea, and then you're pulling it through the paint through. See, look at how loose that is. I could probably even go over the red, but I don't want to pull too much red out. It's just not going to bother it because it's so a really nice wash, a stain kind of a, and it doesn't even wreck the grass at all. So, and then you can go over with a lighter gold and get the same look that I was doing with the watermarks on my last piece, and have such a neat effect in the background like that. And it's, you know, it's really interesting. You can do these like this and not even mess up what you did, your foreground. And your oil pastels, of course, are popping out. Because it's resisting, so it's not changing. And then I'm going to go again with the red a bit here. You can go, see, I kind of mixed a little blue and red, get some purple kind of going on in a few spots. It just pulls a little bit on your eye, and you really catch that in a few places. So I got a little tinge of that red picking up in here. but barely any.